Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. Today I want to share some spinal awareness exercises, starting on the back, moving to hands and knees, and then finishing with a little bit of breath work. So enjoy and let's begin. You could have something to sit on later, like a block, but you don't need to. You can also do the seated portion in a chair. But I'm just going to put that out of the way for right now. You're going to start on your back. And begin by simply feeling your back against the floor. What parts of your back are touching the earth, what are not? Is it different from side to side? In your ribs? In your pelvis? The back of your skull? Do those places where your back body touches the floor, do they feel even? Begin to deepen your breath. Allow your stomach and your rib cage to expand. Notice as you breathe if the places where your breath enhances the contact with the floor, if that enhancement is even, or if one side contacts the floor more than the other. And now just begin moving your pelvis. So you're going to think about your tailbone, which is at the bottom of your spine, and your pubic bone, which is at the front of your pelvis, opposite your tailbone. So as you take your next breath, it could be an exhale or an inhale, you're going to let your tailbone start to move down toward the floor so that your pelvic does what's called an anterior tilt. And your lower back begins to lift off the floor. And then you'll do the opposite. Let your breath initiate the movement so that your tailbone begins to curl up toward the ceiling. And your lower back presses into the floor. You might feel your abdominals engage. And you're going to repeat this. Allow your tailbone to drop toward the floor. Your pubic bone will follow. Your lower back will arch away from the floor. And you'll feel a bigger space underneath your lower back and the floor. And then you go the opposite way. Allow the tailbone to curl upward. The pubic will drop in toward the navel. And you'll feel your abdominals perhaps engage. One more time, lead from your tailbone down. When you get there, notice what's happening with your head. Are you on the left or right side of your head? Are you on the left or right side of your rib cage? What about your pelvis? Go back the other way. Notice, are you on either side of your head, your rib cage, your lower back and pelvis? Last time, tailbone leads down, the lower back arches. Notice what's happening with your neck. Let yourself take a deep breath or two there. And then going back the other way, let your tailbone move up. The back of your neck will lengthen as well, perhaps. The front of your throat softens. Take a deep breath. Good. Let your knees rock from side to side. Your feet can be wider than your hips. And just let the feet maintain that width as the knees rock from side to side. Okay. You can draw your knees toward you and either rock yourself up to seated or roll to your side and come up. Okay. Now we'll come to hands and knees. And it's kind of the same work. So find yourself with your hands below your shoulders, your knees below your hips. And for now, we're going to just keep the gaze straight down toward the floor. But I'm going to lead again from my tailbone, and I'm going to arch it up toward the ceiling. Let it carry through my spine, all the way up to the base of my neck while my head stays relatively stable. And then I'm going to curl my tailbone down toward the floor. My abdominals will lift, pushing the floor away with my hands and knees, my head and neck staying relatively stable. Repeating that, tailbone moves up toward the ceiling. Tailbone moves down toward the floor. Let the movement ripple through your spine. Adding one more piece here. Drop your tailbone toward the floor, lifting through the navel. Let the movement roll through the spine. And then as you round your upper back, pretend that you're turning 2 knobs inward toward the center. Oh, a flying ant. You're going to go somewhere else. No, you're not, aren't you? Okay. Let's try that again. As you drop your tailbone toward the floor and lift your navel, you're going to press your hands into the floor and pretend that you're turning 2 knobs in toward each other. Then let your tailbone lift toward the ceiling. Let that movement roll through your spine. And as you reach your upper back, pretend your 2 hands are turning 2 knobs away from each other. One more time, dropping the tailbone down, lifting through the whole spine. Turn 2 knobs in toward each other. And then let your tailbone go up toward the ceiling. Turn your 2 knobs out, away from each other. Sit back slowly into child's pose. Take some deep breaths. Walk your hands as far forward as they can go, allowing your armpits and elbows to lift up. If your head doesn't touch the floor, you can put something underneath it. Deep breaths wide into the rib cage. And we're going to come back up now and we'll sit. I'm going to sit on a block. You can sit on whatever you like. Make sure that whatever you're sitting on allows your spine to be tall and upright. So we've done a little bit of work with the spine. And by doing that, by bringing attention into the spine, we also bring attention into how we breathe and the movement around the spine and the rib cage when we do take a deep breath. So we're going to just do a few cycles of a simple down regulating breath. So this breath is something that we can do when we're feeling anxious, when we feel like we're spinning a little bit, when we want to calm down and go to sleep, when we just need a moment to step away and collect ourselves. We're going to start with what's called a samavriti breath, which means an even or a balanced movement of the breath. And you can make that at any interval that is comfortable for you. I'm going to start with 5 and 5. So I'm going to count in 5. I'm just going to use my hand to pat out the rhythm. So on my next inhale, I'll take 5 counts to come in and 5 counts to go out on the exhale. Here I go. And we're going to increase the exhale. That means you can go up to twice as long on your exhalation as you take on your inhalation. So for now, I'll go with 5 and 10. You go with whatever count works for your body. So when I go up with my finger, that's my inhale. When I go down with my finger, that's my exhale. Here I go. Our last cycle will be an inhale, a hold, and exhale that is twice as long. Again, work with whatever ratio is best for you. So if going twice as long on your exhale isn't working for you, just go as long as you're able. I'm just going to work again with the up and the down. And when I come up, I'm going to hold for the same count as I breathed in, as I inhale. And then when I go out, I exhale twice as long as my inhale. Here we go. Take some deeper breaths into your belly, your rib cage. Allow any tension that might have built in your body to dissipate. Think of one thing that you feel grateful for right now in this moment. It could be your safety, your health, the health of your loved ones. It could be as simple as a piece of chocolate that you just had, or the smile of your partner or your child, or even the sunshine that's shining on your face, whether you're inside or outside. Allow that sense of gratitude to permeate your body. Imagine its color, its texture, as if it could move through every part of you, through your bloodstream, riding on the breath, which you have just developed in the last 10 minutes. Take another deep breath in, and then as you exhale, simply offer yourself a gesture of respect. That can be a bow, inner or outer. It can simply be a moment to contemplate all that you've been through and all that you may go through in the future and where you sit right now. Thank you for practicing with me. I wish you well. I hope you take really good care of yourselves. And I'll see you soon.